Hey everyone, I am back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had a really good week. I hope that you are continuing on your mental health and wellness journey, just continuing to improve every single day, every single month, every single year, and working on being a better version of who you are. So, for those of you who are new, to Mental Health Moment. Welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here. We are here every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn for Black Women Empowered Incorporated. Thanks for those who are starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your Mental Health Moment. I know that for many of you, this is obviously a global community, but you probably did hear, even if you're outside of the US, and hi, welcome for those of you who are joining here. But you probably heard recently of the passage by the Supreme Court to overturn Roe v. Wade. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment, which is really that decision has had, as you can imagine, no matter where you live in the world, a pretty huge, tremendous impact. You may have seen a lot of things online, a lot of things in social media. If you want, I can send you all the research about mental health and what this decision does for mental health in the community, which, spoiler alert, it doesn't help. There's a lot happening right now. I just wanted to encourage you all, no matter where you stand on this issue. I understand abortion is a controversial issue. However, I implore you to, as a community, for us to work on showing compassion for others, us working towards more kindness, more compassion, understanding. This is a very complex issue. It looks simple, I think, on the surface. It's pretty complex. And in the mental health community, we are really trying our best to as usual, always to advocate for the mental health of others. Thank you. Thank you all for joining here today from Canada, Zephyr Hills, Florida, from Kentucky, Dallas, Baltimore, and while vacationing in the Caribbean. I love that. That's wonderful. Indonesia. Thanks so much for you all who are joining here. So really in this time, so again, as we mentioned, that's been obviously a difficult situation that has come about this past week. But I really want you to remember during this time and during so much that has happened over the last couple of years, how important it is to protect your mental health. We are all on some level healing emotionally from a lot of different things. It may have been something that happened today, yesterday, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, your childhood, or whenever this situation may have happened. Many of us, there's just so many different situations. So I encourage you to make sure that you are continuing to take care of yourself. And thanks for those who are still starting to join here from Venezuela's in the house, in Maryland. So here's what for those of you, I know some of you said in the couple mental health moments ago that you all are taking notes, you have your journals ready for this information. So here's what I have for you today. With everything going on, again, especially the last couple months, it feels like there's just been a lot of heavy things in the news and a lot for our brains to process. So I want to encourage you to work on resetting. Am I about to share something with you that's going to cure depression or anxiety or a mental health condition? No. So disclaimer, no, this is not at all about curing anything. It's more about another tool in your toolbox to help in your wellness journey. So think of it as a supplement. And hi, good evening for those who are still starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here. So what I encourage you to do today is really to start a challenge with yourself. And I call it the Take a Minute Challenge. Okay. And it's a 30-day challenge, which I know sounds like a lot of time, but it is literally taking every day 60 seconds, right? 1 minute of your day to find some time for you. In those 60 seconds, there's a lot of different things you can do. You could, if you believe in prayer, spend that time very intensely praying. If you believe in meditation, you can take that 1 minute of your day to meditate. If you want to be like Dr. Hammond, I just need to take some downtime and watch a sunset or a sunrise or be out in nature. I know we talked about that on another mental health moment that many of you love to be in nature. So do I. If you need to make sure you take a walk outside. And for most of us, not all of us, I know we're at different places in the world, but for some of us, I should say, this is our summertime. So there's a lot of beautiful places, at parks or wherever it is. If you want to take that 60 seconds of your time and to make sure you're fully present and being mindful in that moment, if you want to make sure in that 1 minute you're listening to music or whatever it is for you that will take you to a calm place. That is your goal. So again, for those of you who are just joining here, I am encouraging you today to do what I call the Take a Minute Challenge. So for 30 days, you are going to make it a conscious effort to take 60 seconds minimum, 1 minute. I know everybody's busy. We're all busy, but 1 minute out your day and take some downtime. Allow your brain to reset, to learn how to get into a calm mode. You are helping to retrain your brain. So a couple things about it. One is it depends on who you are. For some of you, you may want to set your cell phone alarm for the same time every day. If you're a morning person, I am not, as many of you know, I'm not a morning person, y'all. I am a night owl. But if you are, up at really early hours of the morning and you say, okay, as soon as I get up out of my bed, I want to take my 1 minute to start my day, great. If you say, no, I want my 1 minute, my 60 seconds at the end of the day, great. Middle of the day, whatever. It doesn't matter what time. You do what works for you. Also, the other thing is to make sure for you if you need to set that alarm and it needs to be the same exact time every day, or you're like, you know what, my schedule maybe it just varies too much, so I'm going to have different times depending on the weekend or the weekday or whatever it is. All of that is up to you. I'm leaving this all up to you. Okay. But your goal is to find your 60 seconds out of your day. Now you may get through like halfway through this 30 days and be like, man, this feels great. Like I need 5 minutes. If you want to turn to the 5 minutes challenge, great. Right. But your goal is a minimum of 60 seconds, 1 minute. And I know we're busy, but I know that we can find 60 seconds out of our day. But you're working on, again, retraining your brain. We are on overload, everyone, with all of the information coming through, especially since COVID-19 and the pandemic and what happened in 2020 and what continues to happen and what could happen in our health and everything that's going on in the news. It is heavy right now. So I am strongly suggesting again that you are working on retraining your brain to learn how to get into a calm mode. Someone said, yes, 60 seconds, I'm all in. Someone said 1 minute in Mobile, Alabama. Awesome. And someone said, read a good book. Watching a sunset would be nice. Blessings to you as well that just joined here. Someone said they're here from Houston, Texas, Indianapolis, and I think I see also South Dakota. So welcome. So the other thing I want to say about the 60 seconds a day for 30 days is you might want to jot down, it depends, that's not required, but if you want to jot down what you did during those 60 seconds, if you are just a pen and paper type of person, you want to grab a notebook, jot it down. For day one, I prayed during that time, or day one, I watched the sunset, or I watched the sunrise, or I went out, I just walked outside, I watered my plant, whatever it is for you that for in that 60 seconds you took the time for you might want to jot that down. Or if you're like, no, I'm not a paper and pencil or a pen and paper type of person, I want to use my cell phone, and there's a ton of apps out there, but you can even just put it in the notes of your cell phone really quick. What did you do because what that also does for you is it shows you, because what's going to happen more than likely, we all get busy. So even though it's 60 seconds, you might get to day 10 and be like, oh man, I don't even think I have a minute out of my day, because you might be stressed out. Something comes up. But then when you look back for the last 10 days, you're like, wait a minute, I did this, this, this. Like, look at all the things that you did for you. And remember, we talked about this last week, but we are going to celebrate the baby steps too. The last thing I want to say to that, someone said, I deserve those 60 seconds. You do. You deserve those 60 seconds. You absolutely do. Someone said, text yourself. Yes. Someone said, I love going to the beach. Wonderful. And the last thing I want to say about what I call the take a minute challenge is that that if you have your 30 days set, you could start it today if you wanted to, tomorrow, whenever you want to start, at the beginning of July, whenever you want to start. But when you start it, if you get to day 5 or 10 or whatnot and you miss a day, please understand, there's not like somebody that's gonna come and punish you because you missed a day or your challenge. That's okay. Just keep going. Okay, I'm giving you permission. So for those of you who are like, I gotta do like 30 days consecutively, that's ideal, but life happens. So if you miss a day or two, just keep going. You're allowed to count that in your 30 days. So just get right back where you left off. That is allowed. I will allow it. But again, your goal, what is going to happen, you'll see, is at first, and this is something I honestly did many years ago. And what happens is you're so focused on doing that. You make your time. Again, you can have your cell phone alarm or whatever time you set that works for you. And you're keeping notes and all these things, but after a while it becomes natural to you and you look for ways to do that naturally. That is where, thankfully, that is where I am at that point. But it took time to train my brain to do that. So wherever I go, y'all already know that joy and mental health moment all the time. I'm usually traveling somewhere or another. And it's hectic. My schedule can be really hectic, but I make sure that I take the time. If I'm on a plane, I'm a window seat girl. If I'm watching the sunset, the sunrise, looking out, admiring the beauty that God has created, the clouds, usually something's going on outside. It's really beautiful views, right? So taking that in, or wherever I'm traveling to or from or whatnot, making sure to just stop and take a minute, because that's really, really important for your mental health. Someone said every day at 5 a.m. before work. Awesome. Someone said, I messed up with that with my diet a lot. It's all good. As I mentioned, someone said, listen to calm music. And here's the thing. Again, the goal of this, I'm chuckling because of some of your comments, but the goal of this is to help you to reset, to help you to recharge. The goal is not to stress you out. So please don't think, oh my God, I have another challenge and something else to do, because that's why it's literally called the Take a Minute Challenge, because your goal is literally to take a minute. And for those of you, because I know you're out there who are like, man, 60 seconds, I should be doing more. I should be doing this. Don't worry about that right now. Again, 60 seconds minimum. If you have more time, great, but it's 60 seconds. You can set the timer on your cell phone, okay? Or watch a clock for 60 seconds. All of us have 1 minute. But again, it's working on not only retraining your brain to get into a state of calm, but at a really deep level, you start to believe for yourself that you deserve self-care, which you do, that you are worthy of being calm, which you are, that you are worthy of having time for you in the midst of everything that is going on. Those are the things that can help you in that 30 days that you set aside. Again, not a cure at all for depression, anxiety. It's not a substitute if you need mental health counseling, not at all. But it's a supplement, and it's a tool to help you get to a better version of you, which is the reason why Mental Health Moment exists, right? For all of us to be at a better version of who we are. Someone said they're here from Detroit, Michigan. Welcome, welcome. So for those of you just joining here, we're talking today about starting the Take a Minute challenge, which is basically for 30 days where you set aside 60 seconds, not 60 minutes, not a whole hour, a minute, 60 seconds of your time. So time yourself, set your cell phone alarms, or again, someone said in here they're going to do it as soon as they wake up before they go to work, or you might, again, like I mentioned, I'm not a morning person. I'm definitely more of a night owl, but you might say, I want that time at the end of the day, middle of the day, whatever works for you, it counts. So I implore you to do that again with so much that's happening right now, especially in the news. It is really heartbreaking. It's hard. It's just hard. Frankly, it's just hard, I think, for many of us to process. So I encourage you to do that. The other thing I wanted to mention is I know some of you have asked when I would be speaking locally, some of you in the Florida area, because I have been speaking at different places out of state. But next month, July 20th, I will be speaking in the Tampa Bay area. So I'll be the keynote at the One Goal Summer Conference. And I'll put all this information on the replay on YouTube. But it's onegoalsummerconference.org. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, Wednesday, July 20th, and their theme is about putting children and families first. So I'll be talking about ways for us to keep our children emotionally healthy, which we know is critical, especially right now with everything that's happening. So I encourage you to check out that site if you're in the Tampa Bay area. Also, I think I already gave you all my TEDx link for some of you who would ask the TEDx talk. It is on YouTube. You can just put Nekeshia Hammond on YouTube and you'll find the YouTube or the TEDx talk, which was also about protecting our children's mental health. And every first Tuesday, for those of you who are new to Mental Health Moment, every first Tuesday of the month is specifically dedicated to children's mental health. Definitely working on ways to make sure that we are keeping them emotionally healthy, that we're doing our best to preserve their mental health. As stressed out as many of us adults have been with everything that's happening, they definitely pay attention more than we know. Especially the little ones, they always surprise me with the things that they know. I'm like, how did you know that? What's going on in your family? Because they're so young, but they just pay attention, and they pick up a lot of information. So I'll definitely give you resources on that and on children's mental health as well. Someone said, will you speak about our teenagers? Yes. Usually a lot of our, actually, I'm not sure if you're talking about the Tampa speech or the, or Mental Health Moment. But on Mental Health Moment, usually I'm giving resources for youth, so children and teens, for the One Goal Summer Conference. That conference is specifically for early childhood ages for that community. So I will definitely be talking more of the younger crowd for that particular conference. But most conferences I speak at is for children and teens when I talk about youth. But for those of you who are joining here, before I sign off here, just a quick reminder to start what I'm taking the Take a Minute challenge, which is 60 seconds out of your day to make sure that you take some downtime, whatever that looks like for you. You can jot it down, what you did day one. I just took my 60 seconds, entered into mindfulness. I entered into deep breathing. I listened to some music. I went on there's a million apps right now and just listen to birds chirping or the ocean or some calming sound. I think someone in here put earlier that they love going to the beach, right? So whatever it is for you, your own 60 seconds of time, taking that time for you, jotting it down and really seeing the difference at the end of the 30 days, because for most of you, it will work on reshifting your brain to understand how important, and it feels good, of how important it is to have that self-care and have that reset. And again, it's a really great feeling just to take those 60 seconds. For me, I love, I call it tea time. So I'm not a coffee drinker, but I am a tea drinker, and just like relaxing cup of tea, taking some mindfulness, looking out the window, taking some deep breaths, like just really recentering. That is really calming for me. I love doing things like that. So again, though, it is whatever works for you, what brings you joy, what brings you calmness and some peace in the midst of everything going on. So make sure you start that challenge. I can't wait to hear about it. If you have any questions about it, you can always go to drnekeshiahammond.com. Again, you really honestly make up your own rules when it comes to the challenge, but really the goal, again, is just relearning how to retrain your brain. So again, for those of you just joining, if you skip a day or two, it's all good. You can continue, you can keep counting, right? If you're on day 5, 6, you're like, oops, I skipped day 7. It's okay. We can start day 7 2 days later. It's all good. But I encourage you to do that. And someone said, yes, herbal teas are calming. They really are. I love them. I really do. I'm a really big tea fan. So, and you're absolutely welcome here. So if you all need me at any time, you can always go to drnekeshiahammond.com or on LinkedIn. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, Instagram, Dr.Hammond, Facebook, or Twitter, Dr._Hammond. And I'm more than happy to connect with you, answer any questions related to mental health. You all already know if you need a mental health resource, I'll try my best to get you to an appropriate referral source in your area. If you need that, I'm more than happy to help you with that. And also, if you are on Instagram, so gosh, I don't even know how long it's been. It's been a couple of years. I know that, but because I practice what I'm preaching with you all here. So I started really delving even deeper into self-care a couple of years ago. And I started doing, well, that was one of my hashtags that I love, take a minute. So if you're on Instagram and you see like the highlight, it says take a minute. I think there's, I never really counted, but maybe like 50 different places or so where I just have a quick clip of a sunset, or it might be out of a plane window, or it might be in different cities or different places throughout the world, just some calming images where I just did my hashtag, take a minute, not my hashtag. I don't own it, but a hashtag that I like to use, take a minute. So you can scroll through there if you want to, if you need some motivation or something calming to look at. And I think I'm going to end up finding a way to put it in a different form for everyone to see, just some calming pictures. But it's different pictures throughout the world, or different, maybe short videos. But yeah, you can take a look at that if you're on Instagram. Again, Dr.Hammond. You can look at those highlights. I still look at those highlights and I was there, but every once in a while I'll look at them. It literally takes me about a minute to look through all of those images of just different calming places, especially if you're into nature. But you're absolutely welcome, and you're welcome. I'm happy to share the knowledge. Someone said, thanks for sharing the knowledge. I love doing mental health moment with you all. I completely recognize that obviously being in the field, there is the stigma of mental health. Unfortunately, I don't want this ever to be a substitute for mental health counseling or any type of services. But I really truly hope this is a supplement for you all. And I really hope that you share good information to others about mental health, and you just support others in their journey as well, because there's a lot happening in the world, and a lot of healing that all of us really need to work on, as I mentioned. So I'm more than happy to share this information. And again, if you need anything, you all know where to reach me. Good evening from Texas. Good evening. Someone said the Calm app is a great break for me. I love the Calm app. They are wonderful. Shout outs to the Calm app. I think I share them like a couple times a week on my Twitter page, because they're always saying some pretty cool things. But yeah, great app, Insight Timer, Calm app. If you need any apps, any other resources, again, you can always reach out to me. Someone said, I need to connect with you regarding mental health and preschool children. Absolutely. Be sure to reach out if you need that. And I hope you all have an amazing week. In the spirit of self-care, for the next 2 weeks, I will actually be on vacation out of the country. But I will, I'm going to pre-record, so still show up the mental health moments for the next 2 weeks. So I won't be live, but you will still have information. It will still come on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tuesday. for the next 2 weeks. But I just wanted to let you know that I am taking some time, well needed vacation, with my family to explore the world. But of course, I'll be sharing that through my Instagram stories as I always do, because I like sharing my journey, and also just wellness tips and information for you all. So I appreciate you too. Someone said the rain sounds on YouTube are also available and they're free. Yes. There's you all, if you all are into nature sounds, things like that, there's so many apps right now. Or as someone said, even YouTube, like there's a lot of different places for you to get those types of sounds and whatnot online. But also we can remember, just to literally be in the midst of nature, and taking a walk, or however you want to experience that as well. Thank you so much. Someone said, enjoy your vacay. Thank you very much. But yes, you all have an amazing couple of weeks. I will be back live in a couple weeks, but again, there will be a video next week at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as well. Take care of yourselves. If you need me, you know where to reach me. Have a wonderful week and be well. And I can't wait to hear about your take a minute challenges that you all are going to be doing and how it's going to work on impacting your life. So take care of yourselves, be blessed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, y'all.